Yo, what is going on, Cover One crew? Welcome back to the show. If everybody's good, we're doing very well over here because we're diving back into that lab, talking Ladd McConkey scouting report now. Los Angeles Charger, okay, and the Chargers required some massive upgrades at the wide receiver spot. They lost Keenan Allen, they lost Mike Evans. They're going with guys like Quentin Johnston and then Josh Palmer. Now they add a guy like Ladd McConkey. Could they replace all the productivity that was lost from a Keenan Allen? Very highly likely, with a guy like Ladd McConkey, who I'm a big fan of. Let's talk his pros, cons, and give him a grade score as we continue to understand who these dudes are. I got you covered. Let's talk a little Ladd McConkey, UGA. You know, and first off, I realized that a lot of Buffalo Bills fans really love themselves some Ladd McConkey. I did too. Would it have been a welcome sight to see Ladd play with Josh Allen? 110%. Did not work out that way, but we got a great, not so much of a consolation prize in a Keon Coleman because he's going to be a baller in his own sense. But Ladd McConkey is definitely one of these characters that he did start to turn, heads, make noise, make waves as he continued his collegiate career with the UGA Bulldogs. He was very good. Let's talk first about the team that drafted him, those Los Angeles Chargers, round number 2, pick 34, I should say. And it's a very good move for them, okay? And while I've always been a Josh Palmer fan, if you guys have followed me for a long time, I was bullish on Palmer, saying he would be something in the NFL, and he's going to continue in this offense. Has the best chemistry with a Justin Herbert at this point, and he's going to see his share of targets in this offense. Outside of that, Quentin Johnston, I mean, for me, he's one of these guys that I did like. His ability, his skill set, he's very good in a lot of senses. His hands were the biggest problem for me in last year's scouting reports for QJ. And I'm telling y'all, it did showcase on the field in the pros as well. Lots of drop passes. He is a double catcher, slapping off the hands. Not good in any sense. Hopefully he got his work done on the jugs machine this offseason. QJ, I'm looking for you to make a big leap in this offense. They signed DJ Chark, and they drafted another wide receiver in Brendan Rice, son of former Hall of Famer Jerry Rice. I'm very excited about that one as well. Late round pick for a Brendan Rice. He's going to be one of these guys you definitely got to watch out for, especially in Dynasty football. You get him on your roster, put him on that taxi squad, and Brendan Rice, and you're going to see, hopefully, it's going to turn out well. They still got Darius Davis, Semi Fihoko, and then another rookie in Cornelius Johnson from Michigan Wolverines. Harbaugh got his boy. So you do realize that Ladd is going to likely suit in as the number 3 target in this offense early on and could potentially steal number 2 target share in his rookie season. I mean, the writing is definitely on the wall with how these Chargers are moving with this depth chart. They wanted to get younger, cheaper at the wide receiver spot, and they definitely did that after this draft. Getting a guy like Ladd McConkey is a huge get because he does a lot of things well. He can play, the Keenan Allen role to absolute perfection, I do believe, as well. So let's talk his measurable 6'1", 186. So a lot of people, a little undersized when it comes to the weight class, but we're seeing the change at wide receiver in the NFL these days where you don't have to be over 200 to dominate. And this is the situation with a Ladd McConkey because he's so good in other aspects. 6 feet is very good. At least he's not under 6 feet. That definitely helps the cause as well. 22 years of age, played in 39 contests, 119 receptions, 1687 in yards, 14.2 on the average, and a decent 14 TDs. You would have liked to see the TD upside go a little bit higher for a Ladd. Did not happen at UGA. We did see some, Stetson Bennett for like 1,000 years with the Bulldogs, and then you had this kid Beck play last year. He was improving on the fly as the year did go on. So Beck is one of these guys. He did help get Ladd to be that much better statistically than any other quarterback Ladd has played with at this point. But I mean, the stat line is definitely decent in respect. But for some pros, Ladd's got a ton of them, man. Playmaking ability. He is a playmaker first and foremost. And the test speed just proves that as well, man. 4.39 on the 40. And I mean, he's more quick than fast. When you look at the tape speed, it shows very well. He can still get past guys going down the outside. He can get past guys in the open field. He is more quick than fast. And I'm going to jump all the way down to those extremely quick feet. Double pluses for me, man. You see him doing those drills with the footwork. It is absolutely a thing of beauty. I don't think he could rival anybody in this draft class when it comes how fast his feet do move. And this does aid and help him in the open field with his route tree, with his release packages, and how he's able to get down the field. So speaking of that route tree, it is superb, man. Double moves, slants, hooks, whatever you're asking him to do. I mean, he's very good in all these respects when it comes to the route tree. I'm getting so excited when I talk about Ladd because he does a lot of things extremely well. And the biggest knock everyone had on him was, oh, he's a slot guy. I fell victim to that too until I started breaking down his film and going into the numbers as well. He's very versatile. Plays the slot, plays outside, screen game, 70% last year as an outside receiver with the Bulldogs. So he's definitely capable of doing that. Will he be this guy on the outside in the NFL, or is he going to be, more slot is home in the pros? I think that's kind of where we're going here, especially with guys like Josh Palmer, especially with guys like QJ. They can handle the outside and let Ladd work and cook over the middle, as Justin Herbert's going to be able to find him with a lot of good efficiency. I do like that ability. The thought process for these Chargers moving forward without guys like Keenan Allen, Ladd is definitely going to be a good fill-in, especially with how he runs his routes. Very Keenan Allen-esque, there is no question. Filthy stutter step, double move. Just dirty, man. Dirty! You can, throw the laundry away. It's dirty. It's so good in all that respect. He's going to make people miss. He does this exceptionally well. Great footwork off the line, great release packages, and he's able to get past these defensive backs. He gets a strong-armed quarterback for the first time in his career, like a Justin Herbert. We could see fireworks all over the field when it comes to Ladd. Love that about his game. Great yak ability. When he has the ball in his hand, he's going to make people miss. He's going to, get around guys with that speed, with that burst that he does possess, and he's going to get down the field and get you good yak productivity. Elusive open field, runs past them, makes defenders miss. With that separation footwork like I'm talking about, he's absolutely going to be a killer in the NFL in the slot when it comes to these Chargers, and how Justin Herbert loves to feed the slot position. You got to see this open field awareness. Definitely pluses for me. Knows where to plant himself in those zone packages, knows where to cut off his routes when his quarterback is scrambling, finds the open areas, and is able to get down the field. Very good in all these respects. Love this about Ladd McConkey, man. Soft hands, no double catch, so more like I was talking about QJ. I'm not a big fan of his hands. He needs a lot of work in those as well. Ladd's in this polished category for me. Snags the ball out of the air. Very soft corralling hands. Does track the ball pretty well when it is in his face. Down the field, we can talk about that in the cons, but I'm talking about when it's in his face, when he sets up those slants, when he sets up, the digs and goes. He's able to do this very well, and his hands are no double catch for me. He's going to snag the ball out of the hand, and he's going to make plays after he does catch them. Like I said, fantastic yak ability. I'll talk about that again because he will get you in the open field, but his best season was in 2022, 58 receptions for 762 and 13.1 on the average, 7 receiving touchdowns. So he did lose a little bit of traction. I think I misspoke early on saying Beck gave him the better stat line. It was actually the last season with Stetson Bennett that gave him the best stat line. I'll correct myself right there. But this is another reason why a lot of people were thinking, can he be a true wide receiver one on any team? Seen some comps, going to the Jordy Nelson type thing where everyone's trying to say Wes Welker, Julian Edelman type of wide receiver. I do believe he is a more than capable of playing on the outside, and they will, scheme up situations where he will play outside. But I do believe that in the slot is definitely going to be home in the NFL, and he should be able to eat everybody alive who is slower than him in the middle of the field. But he's got some cons. Injury history, that is the biggest one we got right now. Jones fracture from high school, broken foot. Apparently there was a broken bone in every single season he's played football throughout his high school career. Not good, man. It did translate over also into the college scene where he did have a knee, turf toe. He had some back issues. He had an ankle injury last year. So, there is a plethora of injuries that do scare off teams in this sense. And then it goes to the point again, lean frame. He's got to add a little bit more muscle mass, be a little bit more better in the conditioning department where he can take some of these hits and remain on the field. Maybe he just has to understand his game not to take hits at all, go down when you catch the ball, but it's not part of his game. He's a good yak runner, good yak machine, and he does like to make plays in the open field, so he will take a little bit of punishment. Just go down or go out of bounds when there's nothing there, and that will save a lot of, punishment on his body. But the injury history definitely is a concern for Ladd McConkey at this point. How many times is he going to get nicked up in the NFL? How long will it be consistent in the pros? That is the biggest question mark, hence why some teams didn't have him as high as others in this NFL draft. College production, Never had a 1,000-yard season, and I mean, that's a big downer for a lot of guys. Not for me. It is, basically you got to understand the systems and the teams that they were playing on. While UGA is definitely a run-heavy team, they do pass the football a lot, and playing with a guy like Brock Bowers definitely would take away some of your meal plan when it came to your statistical achievement. So you can't hate what is going on. Ladd definitely played second fiddle to with Brock Bowers, but is he ever going to be the alpha wide receiver one, or is he just going to be this really highly, consistent baller playmaker that you're looking for? Ladd definitely does fall into that category for me. Frame, like I'm saying, could use a little bit more muscle mass, a little bit more strength. How is he going to do against NFL press coverage? That is going to be very curious as well. Hence why I do believe they will, but likely start him off in the slot, let him get his feet wet a little bit, let him get comfortable with his route tree, let him understand where he does fit well against these NFL defensive backs, and then start, skipping him outside to at least scheme up a, good matchup play versus slower safeties and linebackers. I do like that a lot if that is going to be the case. But press early on is definitely going to be something I'm watching a lot with a Ladd McConkey. Ball tracking is average down the field. This is a big one, okay? And again, we got to caveat this. I'm going to put a little caveat on, poor quarterback placement. And we did see this a lot. Stetson Bennett was good at UGA. Was he a great quarterback? No. Never was the case. Is he a national champion? Sure. But, it was never the case. UGA is a massive run-heavy team as well. Usually carry 3 running backs, help support your quarterback, find play-action passes, get it to your wide receivers down the field. How many times did we see Ladd have to slow up for deep balls down the field? We saw this a lot even with a Beck at quarterback. So, Stetson didn't necessarily have the cannon of an arm to get it down to him. Justin Herbert does. So, I think this will improve as well. I don't hate his ball tracking. I'll just put a caveat on that. It was average this past season especially. Did not look great. He is improving. It is one of these situations where 70% on the outside is not one of these situations you think, oh, there's only a slot guy, he can't do it outside. He definitely can. I just think his ball tracking will be better with a quarterback who can at least lead him down the field, because he does have the wheels to get down the field and push some coverage, man. Has some concentration drops, but again, that goes into the point of the ball tracking ability. Under throws, not pinpoint accuracy, him having to slow up and adjust for the ball. He's not a big body wide receiver who's going to be able to make contested catches in jump ball opportunities or pull back to the quarterback because he's short-armed to throw. We got to understand that. So Ladd definitely needs a quarterback who can, exceptionally grow with his skill set and make him that much better of a prospect. Will he be slot in the home, or will slot be home in the NFL? Like I'm saying, is that a con or a statement? I think it's more of a statement, because I do believe that there is opportunity for him to make a lot of noise on the outside, make a lot of matchup nightmare issues for these teams. But I do think that slot early on is where he is going to be home. And I think this is where you could absolutely exploit his capabilities with Justin Herbert, how they move down the field, assist in the run game, this new look, Los Angeles Chargers team. Don't think it's a con. It's more of a statement, but could he be a forever slot guy in the NFL? Absolutely could very well pan out that way, where his production, his productivity is that much better in the slot than it will be outside. But that is something definitely we will see as the years do move on. But I'm a big fan of Ladd McConkey. There is no question. But for grading purposes, everybody gets a grade score. He graded out fairly well in a lot of categories. Lost some steam with injuries, with the contested catch ability. 76.7% is Ladd McConkey on my board. Definitely fits in with a lot of these top-end talented wide receivers. I think his career could be absolutely very much superstarted with Justin Herbert in this offense, especially if they play him from the slot, like I'm saying, especially if he's going to be taking something of that Keenan Allen role a little bit in this offense. I'm absolutely all for it. I think Ladd is going to be a stellar product in the NFL, and the Chargers definitely got themselves a good baller on their hands. So there you have it. That is Ladd McConkey, UGA product, a big fan favorite of mine. I won't go so far to call him my guy, because I do have a lot of those out there right now, but I do like his game. I am rooting for him. I think he's going to be very much quality with these Chargers. As long as he can stay on the field and injuries do not hamper his NFL progress, he should be a very good one, especially for all y'all PPR upside guys in Dynasty Fantasy Football. But there you have it. Nevertheless, as always, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, jump in those comments, give me your thoughts. What do y'all think of Ladd? You like him? You don't like him? Is he going to be able to play more of a role outside? Throw it in the comments, man. We could definitely talk it out. But we'll see you next time. I am out.